gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to Zephyr Today's Opening Bell, the daily show to start your trading session with. In this edition, I'll be talking to Ivan Kurtovic, CEO of InterCapital Asset Management, Croatia's largest independent investment manager. I have him with me in the light of yesterday's debut on the Bucharest Stock Exchange of an exchange traded fund created by InterCapital that tracks the performance of the bet return net index, meaning the 20 most liquid companies in the Bucharest Stock Exchange and the net dividend yield of these companies. Ivan, nice to hear from you again, and this time to already talk about your presence at the Bucharest Stock Exchange. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for inviting me here to the show. Yes, yesterday it was a really big day for us. So we finally listed our ETF on Bucharest Stock Exchange, and we are really super proud, basically, to do so.
Yesterday you joined the team and Investimental at the ETF listing event. Congratulations! It was a very successful event. We see a slight decrease in the price of the fund unit compared to the value at the beginning of the trading session. Transaction of 2.4 million RON. What are your conclusions after the first day?
Well, we are really, what I mentioned, very proud that we finally listed our ETF on the Bucharest Stock Exchange. Obviously, we expected the first day and some trading activities to happen. It's always quite hard to judge what we expected initially. We thought it might be even a bit lower than what it was, but almost like so 6,000 euro. It's quite decent volume for ETF and for first day of trading. Then hopefully, this can obviously continue. A lot is to do basically on us and of course our partner Investimental there in order to more educate people about the advantages of ETFs, advantages of basically having a basket of shares, but also transparency that ETFs are providing, and hopefully we would be able to attract even some more investors into our ETFs. I think what is very important to say, so penetration of in general asset management services in the broad region, not just Romania, same applies to Croatia, it's quite low. And basically, our aim wherever we are, so both in Croatia and Slovenia so far, but also here in Romania, is not just, to convert existing customers or existing clients of the industry, but even more importantly, those clients that are not clients of the industry, to take, all the benefits of having exposure to a growing equity market.
To educate the population and bring new investors.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is the main aim, at least for us as a company, because we really want to promote, the values that capital markets are bringing. Basically, as younger you are, you should somehow, be even more aggressive, if I can put it like that, with your allocation, and of course having much longer investment horizon. Obviously there are some other values that needs to be taught, including like diversification, because this is somehow the golden rule of investing. Maybe just as a fun fact, I was recently at one conference, and then, I heard quite interesting story. So they said one like very big and very important hedge fund manager, he said, like, if you want to get rich, have a concentrated portfolio. But if you want to stay rich, diversify. And I think, that really explains it well, how we need to approach our investments.
Yeah. Good. Let's take them one by one. First, tell us a bit of about the specific of the fund and how it's positioned against the other two ETFs in our market. One on the BET index and the other on the BET-MG index.
So basically, sorry, we are following the net return, so including dividends, but on a net basis. So basically, this is the most transparent as we could go. And also, when it comes to the cost, basically our management fee is only 0.6%. What we also presented over the presentation. If you compare it with some like big global ETFs like I don't know S&P or Nasdaq, obviously this is a bit high. But then when you compare it to the broader emerging market or frontier market indexes, and also ETFs that are based on them, if you compare it with some Central Eastern European ETFs that are present from Poland to Czech Republic and Hungary, basically we see that this is really very, very competitive. And very importantly, basically we target with our ETF to have total expense ratio. So basically all the costs that ETF can have kept or at maximum 1%. So we really believe that we have established or we have made a very, very attractive product when it comes to our costs and also extremely transparent. Obviously, part of this will apply to a bid-ask spread and basically, the execution. But we believe that even together with Investimental, we could offer a very, very competitive pricing on that end as well.
If I'm not wrong, for the remaining period until the end of July, you have also an offer and on all three markets where it is listed. You have suspended the management fee, right?
Yes, that's correct. So starting from today until 31st of July, so basically next 2 months, we're going to have management fee of 0 for all three markets, or basically for the whole fund. And basically, this is somehow, like our gesture that we really wanted to support, as best as possible the whole market. And hopefully, even later on, we can continue having some kind of promotions. But basically now for those next 2 months, we're gonna have 0 basically management fee.
Is there still room to play? You still have room to reduce spreads?
You mean for the bid-ask spread on the exchange, or?
Yes.
So, I mean, with Investimental, we have, I would say, like a bit broader range, ranging from 0.2% and going up to 1%. Somehow we hope really that this spread should be in the range of 0.2 to max 0.5%. But then again, we need to see and how the liquidity will go on the exchange, because obviously, I mean, if velocity is on the exchange is better, probably these spreads will be much tighter. But anyhow, we really believe that going forward, we could make even this bid-ask spread more competitive than basically it was publicly announced that this range from 0.2 to 1% could be.
Okay. What asset is the fund that right now, and what are your expectations, to say so, for future development?
It's obviously always hard to how to say to guess what the future will be, but we are really very, very positive when it comes to ETF prospects and basically asset that we could collect. Somehow our hope is that we can bring this asset basically, or we can grow this asset by 15 to 20 million euro by year end. We believe that the whole story, so starting from macro story of Romania, going to more like valuations of both index but also companies. So from price earnings ratio to dividend yields are really very, very compelling. and basically that people should be somehow invested in products like that for a longer run. Obviously, our success will be limited, or it will expand depending on activities, those educational activities that we, together with our partners from Investmental, will be actively doing. But anyhow, we really hope that the educated investors are basically the best investors, and even if we need to try harder in order to make or to come to those educated investors, even in a longer period, I think it's really perfectly fine.
And as an administrator, you have right now under management like 400 million euros.
So overall, our asset stands at almost 500 million, so 500 million altogether with ETFs, but except or if we exclude ETFs, so our 4 ETFs are approximately 50 million at the moment. So the remaining part is for 450 million euro.
Okay, what other future plans do you have? Because I heard something about fixed income bond instrument.
Yeah. Basically, we got approval just like 2 weeks ago from local Croatian regulator to launch one additional ETF. It will cover Romanian government bonds, euro-denominated government bonds. And this is a fund that we plan to present next week in Croatia and to list it officially there. We're going to start immediately the process of notifying our regulator in Croatia to passport those funds and that product in both Slovenia and Romania. But then again, depending on the processes here, we believe that we can bring this product here to the market as well. So don't ask me on a timeline because we don't know. But somehow I would say, knowing that now we have passed through all those lenses of everybody, we believe that it can be much faster than that basically this product was. On top of that, we are contemplating and still exploring some ideas on launching some other ETFs, again regional ETFs, and we hope to bring one additional ETF at least in Croatia, and ideally maybe even here by year end. But still, this is more, I would say, like an internal factory for the moment, and we need to see and we need to evaluate what might be the best fit for the market at the moment.
Okay, do you think maybe at I don't know thematic ETF on IT or green energy, something like that?
Yeah, we are basically thinking on something like that. So more thematic or sectorial ETFs. But as I said, it's more like an internal factory. So we are trying to find actually the best possible proxies or the best possible benchmarks, because one of the key ingredients for ETFs is this transparency. And basically having a benchmark really gives super transparency, to any holder or any unit holder of the ETF, and this is what we need to find. So we might have the best and brightest idea, but if you don't have a benchmark, to follow, then it's hard to launch such an ETF. And this is why we are talking now with couple of providers to potentially see what might work for us.
Understand, Ivan. I will conclude with a perspective question. How do you see the current macroeconomic situation and how it reflects on the regional stock exchanges?
I remain positive. To be honest, last year I was, and somehow our outlook, especially early 2023, was a bit more cloudy because of the inflation, somehow, the recession that we expected. But basically, economy proved really to be much stronger than anybody anticipated. Workforce, so basically salary increase really followed, and basically consumers or consumption remained really on quite strong levels across the board or across the globe. So we are positive on the economy in general. a lot of investments. So from the governments across the globe, a lot of either green transition or this recovery and resilience funds, EU funds, especially here in Romania, Croatia, Greece as well. So basically that all gives certain additional support to the economy. When it comes to the stock market, I would say, if we have a good macro, basically, the companies should be performing good as well. Again, particularity for Romania is that we're going to see even more level or higher level of investments, among else because of oil and gas infrastructure investments that are happening here, oil and gas transportation infrastructure that is also happening here. So we are positive in general on Romanian economy, and basically we strongly believe that it should transfer also to performance on the stock market. So we remain positive. If nothing else, we have super sound dividends. So this should also be certain proxy for some kind of volatility, because with 5 to 6% dividend yields, that should also be certain buffer, for any kind of price volatility that might happen. But I think in general, very positive. Some volatility, of course, can happen, and I think this is equity market, so volatility of plus minus 5 to 10 or 15%. I mean, it's normal. And I think overall we need to educate people that any kind of weakness, if we have like a broader positive context of the economy, can be just a good opportunity to add on to the existing positions.
Yes, we need to do that. Thanks for the talk, Ivan. A pleasure as always. See you next time.
Thanks, Tibi, for the invite, and looking forward for the next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I close here today's opening bell. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and wish you a profitable trading session.
Știu ce spun.
Cresc tensiunile dintre Statele Unite și China. Au ieșit și s-au atacat reciproc.
Nu se poate. Unul fără celălalt ar fi dezastru.
Știu ce te interesează.
Ciolacu vrea să mai scadă din atribuțiile primarului de București. Nu a întrebat pe nimeni, nici măcar pe specialiștii lui.
Mi se pare aberant.
Știu cum să te fac curios.
A început invazia avatarurilor care vor fi profesori în școlile din Europa. E un mare succes.
Tu nu te duci la școală doar ca să afli lucruri noi. Școala te pregătește să fii un bun cetățean.
Știu cum să te emoționezi.
Singurătatea este una din bolile secolului.
Ai nevoie de tine, în primul rând, și apoi de oameni.
Să stai un pic să te așezi emoțional.
Știu să conving.
Republica Moldova este acuzată că a încălcat drepturile omului.
I-ați blocat la mantinelă pe niște candidați care nu vă plăceau? Așa face și Putin. Care mai e diferența între tine și Putin?
Cu alte cuvinte, Uniunea Europeană a spus
Maia
că...
Sandu putinist.
Știu să câștig.
Rămânem prieteni, da?
Promit.
Știu, deci știi.